So, today I really don't have like a whole lot of ideas. Because I'm really tired, so I haven't really done a lot. I attended class. Woo! Bring back the jazz hands. But it was really cool. We actually did cool things in class. Read Harry Potter. Anyway. But I'll read you the first part of, or first however long I feel like of my book. We'll call it probably a page or two. So it starts, the chapter title is The End, and then starts by giving a date, 12/23/2043. The ground shakes as another tremble. This is going well. The ground shakes as another tremor shoots through the earth. My family and I are all huddled around our piece of junk TV trying to get it to work. Dad finally gets the antenna in the right direction so we get the news channel. We're just trying to figure out how bad this thing will get. My gut feel is pretty bad. The newsman is saying something in an Indian dialect I'm unfamiliar with. I do, however, get the name of a volcano. My dad, who knows more of the languages here, tells me that this isn't the only danger zone out there right now. Multiple places in each country are like this. Apparently, the scientists are saying the supervolcano in Yellowstone is triggering some chain reaction, and we don't know how far it will go. It reached India. Seems insane to me. They can't figure it out. They can just tell us it's happening. They don't really know at this point how bad it's going to get. On the dust floor, I feel the broken picture frames. It amazes me how much destruction a bit of shaking can do. What are we going to do? I don't get a response. I get frantic. Don't let it show. Be strong. Dad, where will we go? I don't know. There doesn't seem to be a safe zone. How can there be no safe zone? The chain reaction is bigger than they expected. We sit in silence. The room shakes again. It's not as big this time, but I don't trust it. I don't let it trigger false hope. I was right to do so. The news goes to an alert. We have just received reports that this episode is worse than expected. Please remain calm. We are evacuating Earth. Please take what you can and make it to the airport. There you will await further instructions. My family and I remain speechless for a moment. We didn't even know we have that technology. We don't question it, though. We take one precious possession each and go. My dad rushes us into the car military style and drives like I've never seen him drive before. As we pull out, we see others frantically running towards cars, bikes, whatever they can, and telling those without access to the news. I have never been happier to have a military dad. General in the Marines, to be specific. Usually he's off in meetings or whatever he does. Now, though, we're his team, and thank God he is in go mode. We make it to downtown, but the streets are so crowded we get out of our car and take the Delhi Metro to the airport. It is crowded as can be, and I start to wonder how they could account for all these people. We arrive at the airport stop. Thankfully, we make it as one of the first. The hustle and bustle of people around me make my passage through them a blur. I'm pulled this way and that, through the throng of people, and my dad practically pushes me as we are boarded on a plane to head to the Russian Space Center. I'm amazed at how calm he is in all of this turmoil. I can hardly think. Taking a last minute to look out into the city, I see smoke rising from buildings, half-crushed and half-broken offices and shops, and then I turn around and try to forget it. It's a nightmare. I have to push that image out of my mind. I have to think logically. What will come next, and how will I live through it? I eventually find myself sitting in a seat next to my brother. I have the window seat. I wish I didn't. Outside is a view of the apocalypse, of people pushing past one another, trying to get a spot on the plane. Then it hit me. Who knows if they will get a spot? I'm sure they're using every plane they can. But there is only so much time and so many planes. Not everyone will make it. And they know that. The plane takes off, and on the ground I see that all the other ones are lining up to follow us. There are still hundreds of people on the ground. It makes me feel guilty for being one of the ones that made it. But then self-preservation kicks in, and though I still feel bad, I'm glad for myself. It's a couple of hours to the Space Center. The landing space there isn't exactly meant for planes, so we are lurched forward and my stomach is almost sent into the chair in front of me. Beside me, my brother looks sick, green in the face and all. He doesn't like flying. Unfortunately, I suspect that's not the last discomforts we are to endure. This time it's the Russians that are pushing us around. They seem to be filing us into different groups. My guess is those who should stay and those that shouldn't, those that get priority over others. They seem to be taking several things into account. My dad's a high-ranking Marine, but that's about all I've got. I decide it's time for some answers. Dad, where do we go? We await instructions, sweetie. Strain replaces the calm in his voice. Dad, I want to know, do you think they'll pick us? Honey, I don't know. They may not. I am the only American in uniform I can see, and I obviously have a family, so that's encouraging. They need soldiers and families, but they seem to have plenty of those. Less encouraging. His voice trails off, talking to himself at that point, I suspect. At this point, 3 distinct groups seem to have formed: professionals, families, and those who honestly don't appear to favor natural selection. The Russian soldiers approached us, and I prayed to God for mercy. They were taking us to the family section. Phew, at least we aren't considered scum who don't deserve to live. That is, according to them. I wonder if the operation is being run the same in the United States. I wonder if they're so ruthless. They probably have to be, and I'm sure this whole ordeal was not solely organized by the Eastern nations. I spend what feels like 30 minutes watching people sorted this way and that, and the idea of the sorting hat from Harry Potter pops in my head. But there is one big change. The people have no say here, no say concerning their lives. It's a sad thought, depressing really, that we live in this state of mind, that the world has become a machine controlled by corrupt governments. The population will be smaller after this, much smaller, and if normal life is ever established again, the government can never stay the same, not with people fighting for their livelihoods. No, it will be much different. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's what humans need, a fresh start. I look at my watch. It's apparently only been 10 minutes when they start taking people to the shuttles, a few at a time. Though the shuttles are quite large, I'm sure our numbers much exceed their limits. We are taken single-filed, hushed along like we are military. I suspect they are trying to keep order. We are towards the back, which frightens me, but I can't be scared because no matter if I have to stay here or go up in that thing, I have to face it. I have to be brave. Just before us, they cut us off. I'm frozen. I thought we had a chance. I honestly did. My dad breaks line to talk to the soldiers. I can hear him because everyone around us is silent with fear. He speaks to their head of command, a brutish-looking man, and of course he has a scar on his face. Why wouldn't he? Sir, I am General T. Harris of the U.S. Marines, and I believe that my family and I would be an essential addition to the group that is allowed to evacuate. I have survival and leadership skills which I have passed on to my family, and my wife is a scientist. His attempt seems to be getting desperate as they look at him with exhausted and bored eyes. I thought the other guy was the top man, but this officer, tall as a Wookiee and decorated as a cake, walks up and shakes my dad's hand. That was a friendly handshake. They must know each other. It's starting to rain, so I have to squint to see what's happening. He seems to be giving us a pardon. Dad confirms my conclusion. They are asking us to walk on. Seems their commanding officer owes me a favor. That's another story for another time now. Let's get on.